What's good? How's y'all doing? Today we finna reacting to 10 facts you did not know about Jin from Hunter x Hunter. Honestly, um, I don't know that much about Jin, you know what I'm saying? Besides, he gone father, you know what I'm saying? He was in a dark continent and shit. And low key, you know what I'm saying, bro? I know everybody wants a dark continent season 2 to be animated or some shit like that, but most likely it's not gonna happen. But appreciate y'all for watching. Make sure to leave a like, comment, share, subscribe, and we finna hop right into the video.
Hello and welcome to the New World Review, your source for everything anime and manga, and today we are here with some glorious Hunter x Hunter, quite specifically 10 fun facts about Ging Freecss that you did not know, and if you did, then I don't care, because they're still gonna be fun. And I've chosen Ging for this video because he's quite the mysterious dude, bruh, full of lots of irony. I mean, I for one find it quite interesting that he decided to name his son after his parenting style, both of which are of course gone, but Ging really does form a fascinating core of Hunter x Hunter.
Nah, that
Without
nigga,
him,
what's the
Gon
name?
doesn't go on a journey, and without Gon going on a journey, we don't have a series. So you could say that everything we've experienced was very much designed
Really
to
left
build
his
up
son,
this
bro,
sort of
before he was
story,
even
and who's actually
born.
become something of a primary protagonist
Well, I think
during
before he was
our
born.
dark
Oh no,
content
after he was
storyline.
born.
So let's discover some fun facts about Ging, and it is all going to commence with a quick round of Hunter Trivia, a very simple minigame where I ask you a multiple choice question, and
I already
you,
know the
being
first one because
you,
I
provide
already
an
watched like
answer
the
to said
first part
question.
type shit, not
However,
first
should
part
you answer
for the first question,
incorrectly,
so
then
I
your
already know that
punishment will
one.
be to
But the rest of them I
subscribe
do
to the
not
New
know.
World Review, which will also result in consistent injections of you will move on to the next phase of our Hunter exam. So speaking of, here is our question. How old was Ging when he passed the Hunter
This is
exam?
11.
Was he A, 10, B, 11, or C, 12? All ages that are, quite frankly, far too young for this sort of shenaniganry, but hey, it's Ging. So make your choice now, and we shall reveal the answer in 3, 2, 1, and bam, Ging was 11 years old when he took the Hunter exam. Or more accurately, according
Nigga
to
is
Mito,
goated,
it was
bruh.
done before
He
Ging
took the
turns
shit
12,
early
which
as
in some
age.
circles would be considered 11. So if you guessed incorrectly, then you know the thing to do, and please do say hi in the comments below if you are new to our association. Welcome. But this leads quite nicely into Ging fact number 1, because whilst he may have been 11, that wasn't even the most impressive aspect of Jing's particular Hunter exam, because he is actually notable as the only passing candidate of his year, that being the 267th Hunter exam. And just a bonus fun fact while we're here, we do actually know of one of the other participants of this exam, which was of course Tonpa the Rookie Crusher. And by this time, Tonpa had actually participated in more than 10 previous Hunter exams. It's interesting to think about though, because he clearly failed to crush Ging, just as he would fail to crush Gon almost exactly 20 years later. Also, Gon was 11 years old when he took the Hunter exam. Maybe, I don't know, like it's kind of difficult to confirm actually, because Gon's age is the subject of a lot of inconsistencies within the wonderful Hunter x Hunter timeline, but in theory his journey was meant to mirror Ging, so Togashi's intention was for Gon to be 11. Still, what's more impressive is that it looks like Ging was able to solo the Hunter exam in a way that Gon really would not have been able to. Which leads us quite nicely
How he
into
do
fun
it?
fact number 2, because as is predictable with such a solid career start, Ging has actually achieved the highest possible rank that a hunter can within the association, sort of. Alright, let me explain. The Hunter Association distinguishes its high performers via a 3-star ranking system, 3 obviously being the highest because that would be the mostest. And to put that into some perspective, a veteran hunter like Moral has been awarded 1 star, whilst Bisky is currently a 2-star hunter, whereas Ging is one of the rare hunters who has qualified to receive his triple star license. However, he is not officially a triple star hunter because, and well, there's really no other way to put this, he can't be bothered to go and get it. In order to receive this upgrade, a hunter needs to submit an application, and now this is very problematic because Ging and administration, well, they don't really mix. So the only thing stopping him
Nigga
from
lazy
being
as
recognized
hell,
as one of
bro.
the highest ranking hunters in the entire association is sheer laziness. And that laziness very much spawns from fun fact number 3, which is all about Jing's zodiac sign as the boar. Not his actual astrology sign, because funnily enough it doesn't match, but Ging was deemed a hunter competent, or I suppose interesting enough, to become one of Isaac Netero's trusted zodiacs, being assigned the role of boar. A boar basically being a glorified piggy. And this reflects Ging quite well because in Chinese astrology, the boar is notorious for never being on time. In fact, the only reason why it was designated as the 12th sign is because our pigum allegedly overslept and was the last to meet with the Jade Emperor. And you can see this quite clearly with Ging, specifically in his first modern appearance, because he is the last of the zodiacs to reach the Hunter Association following the death of Chairman Netero. Although interestingly enough, because the Hunter x Hunter world does somehow follow our date system, we can determine the birth year of Ging, which is 1967, and that would make him a sheep, not a pig. So in conclusion, all hail Ging, the magical mighty sheep pig. None of that really matters though, because our unfortunate fourth fact is that Ging is incredibly unpopular within the world of Hunter x Hunter, and especially within the Hunter Association itself. I mean, there are a few characters like Satotsu who hold Ging in very high regard, but they are quite few.
Bro, I feel like watching Hunter x Hunter again, bro. Shit is just too like
Ging was, of
bro.
course, running for the top job. However, the most votes he received at any given time during this entire process was a mere 8, and assumedly one of those votes was himself. So there were only 7 other hunters in the entire association that deemed Ging trustworthy enough for that chairman role. Meanwhile, the large majority of hunters despised him so much that they even broke into a spontaneous round of applause when Leorio struck Ging with his remote punch. And look, even Jing's close collaborators amongst the Zodiacs held him, at the very least, in a very strong distaste, all except for the most unlikely person, that is. Which forms a big part of Ging fact number 5, being that he is the only human being, possibly even the only being in the world, who is hated by Pariston Hill. Now, I know that might seem like a bit of a petty fact at first, but this is actually pretty massive. Pariston is an intriguing guy, because he has never actually hated anybody in his life until he met Ging, which is both astonishing
Why he hate my nigga
and
Ging
terrifying.
for? What he do?
Astonishing that Pariston can go through life with such neutral, dare I even say positive feelings for all those around him, and terrifying because he does absolutely sickeningly evil things to those people regardless. These are the people that he likes, or at least doesn't hate. And right now, one of our big cliffhangers in the manga is Pariston coming to realize that he legitimately hates Ging, because Ging possesses a level of genius to rival Pariston, which is annoying, very, very annoying, but also exciting.
That nigga Ging is smart.
Very exciting, because Pariston is quite eager to discover exactly what he would do to someone who he legitimately hates. So Ging has nurtured himself quite a powerful and scary enemy in Pariston, and not only that, but an enemy who is actually capable of outthinking him, because Pariston did get the better of Ging during the chairman election. Not that Ging should necessarily have too much to worry about because of fact number, the one that we're up to. What is it, 6? Yeah, it sounds good. In any case, this fact thing is that Ging is quite possibly the most powerful Nen user in the entirety of Hunter x Hunter. Because if his status as an informal triple star hunter as well as a Zodiac didn't sway you, well then how about the idea that Isaac Netero once told Bisky that Ging Freecss is one of the top 5 Nen users in the entire world. And I do find that pretty convincing coming from a man like Netero, personally, but we don't necessarily need to take Netero's word for it, because I would say that from the minimal amount that Ging has demonstrated in the series, he is quite clearly superior to probably anyone else we've ever encountered, and that includes the ants. The ants mostly look tough because they have disgusting quantities of aura, but as actual Nen users, they're all very rough and unrefined, including the king. But for an example of refinement, Ging did show off a bit in the manga, displaying his capacity to immediately replicate Leorio's Nen abilities. But not just replicate them, improve them. After seeing them only once, Ging understood the exact aura breakdown of how they were crafted, so he basically just stole the idea and casually created 2 new and 2 superior Nen abilities for himself.
Damn.
And that is important to emphasize because there is a little bit of a misconception that Jing's Nen ability is the power to copy other Nen abilities, but it is not. We still haven't actually seen any of his original abilities, but Ging is just such an outrageous aura genius that he can replicate the highly personalized and developed powers of others as if they were some kind of basic principle of the art form. Which leads us nicely into lucky fact number 7, which I'll be honest is more of an anti-fact than an actual fact, but we still do not know Jing's Nen affinity, which is a bit bizarre because there aren't too many characters in the series whose affinities have not been revealed, either in the manga or through a data book. and Ging just happens to be one of them. Also, just like the copy myth, there is another strong misconception amongst the fanbase that Ging is a natural emitter, and this spawns entirely from the fact that Leoria's Nen abilities were emissive based, but Ging replicating those does not make him an emitter, not necessarily anyway. I mean, admittedly he could be, but the ease at which he wields emission may indicate his position on the Nen ring, if not an emitter then potentially as an enhancer or a manipulator. However, I will say that when you get to the level of being one of the top 5 Nen users in the world, I'm gonna go ahead and propose that your position on the Nen ring probably doesn't actually matter a whole lot. To illustrate, Isaac Netero was an enhancer, but his 100 type Guanyin Bodhisattva primarily seems to make use of conjuration to summon the statue and manipulation to move it, both of which are the 2 worst possible affinities for an enhancer to be using. But he does it anyway because he's Netero and he doesn't care about your crap. Now, with all of this said, I do have a guess as to what Jing's Nen affinity might be, which is explored in this here video using facts and logic. Potentially cherry-picked facts and flawed logic, but hey, we gave it a go. Moving along though, Ging has made some questionable choices in life, like deciding to say abandon his son and train
Oh, I
him
remember
through a
when this
series of very
happened.
specifically designed
Oh,
death
that shit hurt
games.
me.
But the only action of Ging that was ever censored in Hunter x Hunter is the name he chose for himself on Greed Island. Now, this name just so happened to be this, which, let's just say I don't even feel comfortable saying that much on YouTube, but it's basically supposed to serve as an anagram of Ging. Something that I'm sure seems fairly innocent to non-English speakers, like say a native Japanese speaker, which, wow, Yoshihiro Togashi just so happens to be. What are the odds? As a result though, the anagram in the Viz manga translation became Ngig. With that said, no changes were made to the official English subtitle anime, so maybe we were just overreacting about nothing, but probably not. With that in mind, I'm quite curious that Ging would make such a choice, because fact number 9 is that he is a very cultured man. Cultured to the point where he knows an incredible slew of languages, just not English, apparently. However, as a proud archaeologist, Ging has also made it his mission to study ancient languages, and he is allegedly fluent in both ancient Kape and Nunkul, if I'm pronouncing those correctly, and you know what, I don't care, because they are fake ancient societies, and I do not respect fake ancient societies. However, Ging does, and in fact his knowledge is so great that he engaged in an ancient language contest with a character named Curly, who was a member of Beyond Netero's expedition team to the Dark Continent. And as a side note, Curly is a professor of the not at all referential Varvard University, which does sound nice, but Ging thoroughly trounced him. Which brings us to Ging fact number 10, which is that in the 1999 anime, he gets portrayed a little differently. Where in both the manga and the 2011 anime, Ging is very much depicted as a sort of oversized Gon, the 1999 anime makes him significantly more, how shall we say,
Creepy.
manly and adult-like. And it does vary from shot to shot, and it is particularly vague because this
The
incarnation
art style,
only made it
though,
to the end of
is
Greed
just
Island, so we never got to
amazing.
see Ging during any of the election stuff, but he does look significantly more adult, like some sort of man with some sort of responsibilities, as opposed to, say, Gon with a beard. I mean, if anything, adult Gon actually looks a bit more like a grown man than Ging does in the 2011 anime, but hey, that only goes on to emphasize Jing's inner child. Throughout his whole life, Ging has never lost that magical spark for adventure and knowledge, something that has and will continue to serve him extraordinarily well as he makes his way to the Dark Continent. Or not, maybe his curiosity will be his undoing and he'll die a brutal, fruitless death, but we know it will be one or the other. But to examine more about stuff, here is another.
Nah, there was some facts I didn't know about Gene and shit like that, you know what I'm saying? Y'all let me know. Did y'all know any of these facts? You know what I'm saying? What you did know, what you did not know. But appreciate y'all for watching. Make sure you leave a like, comment, share, subscribe. And I will see y'all in the next video.